Oh, good. Oh, good. So let's meditate. Let's bring ourselves into a wonderful space. So take your attention inside to the tip of your tailbone. Drop your attention because energy follows attention. So if you take your awareness, which is another word for attention, down to the tip of your tailbone, breathe into that space with a silent Om sound, or not so silent, in your own space, fine. And feel that energy center begin to open. And allow the health of that experience to begin to inform your total energetic environment of its well-being. Understanding very deeply within yourself that our sense of wellness has nothing to do with the outer circumstance. Unless we allow the outer circumstance to deter us from our internal wellness. Holding to that Om sound as we expand our awareness in it at the tip of our tailbone. And when you're ready, gently allow your attention to rise to the energy center below the belly button, feeling into that space. Again, using the Om sound to begin to orient to our spiritual being. Opening into that space. Feeling your body begin to settle into this energetic awareness. Bringing your energy to your heart center. Again, feeling for the Om sound, allowing you to expand your heart center. And whatever time it takes for you to occupy these energy centers, take that time. There's no hurry. There's nothing that says you have to be in sync with our pace today or any day. This practice is for you to experience your energetic awareness. So allow your heart center to soften. And when you're ready, take your attention to your throat center. Remembering that energy follows attention. Bring the Om sound into your throat center. Allow it to expand. You bring your attention to your third eye. Again, feeling into the Om sound. Directly above where the heart and soft palate meet. Feeling into the fact that we are spiritual beings having a physical experience rather than the reverse. And as you release yourself into this awareness, follow the flow of your energetic system, however you experience it for a few minutes. Understanding that as you expand your field of nourishment, your influence expands also. This is how one person in India sitting in a cave can change the world for people for a long, long time. There is no more important work than this. Mm. As you're ready, holding to this space within yourself, gently open your eyes. How may we serve this morning? We're so happy to be here with you. How may we serve? What's new with everybody? Oh, I'm muted, but we can't hear her. Carol, we can't hear you if you're trying to speak.
No, I'm not. I'm not. I'm not trying to speak. I'm just having trouble with my machine.
Uh, no problem. It goes with the territory.
Right.
Hmm. So we're going to repeat what we've been saying for a while, which is that we have to see what we don't want to choose what we do. And this is what's happening in the world. And so, for those of us who know what we want and have experienced what's truly important, this is a time when our commitment to our inner work gets more instead of less. It's very important that we not get distracted into fear, into reactivity, which destroys the quality of our own environment, and that we hold to the love within ourselves so that when the world bumps up against us, that is what comes out of us. Regardless of what happens in our external world, our commitment is to the quality of our internal world. And very often, why spiritual people choose a life of austerity is so that they already choose to lose everything in the material world. That's not an issue. The truth is that life happens so fast, and that every experience of it has incredible value. And holding to our commitment to our inner work through whatever adversity is the test of our commitment, and really nothing else. Spirituality is simple. It's not easy, but it is simple. We are either holding to our commitment or we are going crazy like everybody else. And we will do some of each, always, but coming back over and over to that center within ourselves. That is the whole point. We welcome your experiences, questions, answers, experiences, anything that you want to share this morning is welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm I'm working through staying independent and balanced, facing a disappointment. Um, a project that I had been working on for weeks was just at the moment of completion when it seems to have been the rug was pulled out from under it. And there were so many things that were involved. As you know, I have talked about wanting to connect to our grandchildren. And so I had um, worked towards a, a project and an experience that would have possibly and most likely have been a fulfillment of that wish. And so I don't know how it will play out eventually, but I had to let go of what was possible. And so right now I'm in the process of returning to acceptance and independence about it. And as you know, I use the I Ching, um, and that's been very helpful. The I Ching uses the word sage, where if we were talking, I would use the idea of Anasa temple. It's similar in that guidance comes when I need it the most, and I'm needing it now. Um, anyway, that's a report of what is happening at the moment for me in my experience. And it's thrown me back on an internal um, process. I tried to do something in the external world and it didn't complete. It didn't complete. Anyway, so
So it did not complete in this moment. We're going to interrupt to say that because
that's good.
we always have our own time frame in which we judge success and failure of various endeavors. So what it's important to recognize is that everything has its own timeline that is independent of us. And if something doesn't happen in our timeline, that generally means that it's not in alignment with the highest best, because things in alignment happen at the right time. And we don't get to decide what that right time is. We'll give you an example. When you're trying to go out the door to accomplish something or get to some errand or whatever, and you're assembling, keys, wallet, the things to go out the door, and suddenly you can't find something. And so you end up later than you expected, or something happens. You get a phone call that you feel you must take, and you can't get to where you're going in the time that you think you should be there. Or, and any
Yeah.
task that we're trying to complete that doesn't happen in the timeline we expect. Who knows, we may be being protected from something far greater than our own timeline.
Yeah.
And
We've experienced that. Yeah.
yeah, and we don't always know what that is.
Mhm.
But and sometimes that's what sage advice means, is that
Yeah.
take this delay as it's not the right time, not as
Okay.
failure or some other reason.
Incompletion. Yeah.
Yes. And so it's not really a cause for disappointment because it's just not time yet. And so when it is time, it will happen. And you can be assured of that. And if it's not time, it won't. And you can be assured of that. And so it gives us a little bit of confidence that in the way, Source has our back. Things happen at the time they're supposed to. And with that understanding, we can have a different harmony in ourselves about whatever happens.
Yeah.
Because it is our desire to make things happen within a time frame that creates the disappointment,
Hmm.
not whether or not it happens at all. And
Right.
so you may be you may be being saved from a failure of the whole event for a time when it can be successful. And so this is what trust in divinity is about, is that we reframe our reaction to events in terms of alignment. And so this way, because what we're really intending to do is minimize the disturbance to our own alignment by things like disappointment, anger, especially in these times, fear. When it's a time of so much change, it's important that we adjust our understanding to the acceptance that there is a kind of alignment to what's happening, even if we can't see it.
Mhm. Yeah. Thank you. That is very calming, very restful to be reminded of that. I mean, that's one thing that my partner over here always says is that something worse could have happened, and we could have been spared that experience. And I have seen that happening, so I I can cling to that in a way, um, as I move through this this process.
We actually had an experience where we were planning a trip to visit family, and our spiritual teacher, just as an aside in an email, I said, we're planning this trip on this date. It was like even a PS or something. It wasn't the point of the email. And I was told, please travel on a different date, a later date. Now, we had already made arrangements with family, so it was kind of complicated to reorder everything, but we did. And we would have been flying on 9/11 right into Newark Airport. And the very best thing that could have happened is we would have been trapped somewhere for weeks. But it saved us. We had no idea. It's quite possible the source that told us didn't have any idea, but was following the information he was given. And so I'm forever grateful for that experience. Because even though we
It's amazing.
even though we don't know what we're saying, much of the time in these conversations we have with you, we know that the information is reliable because it has been proved to us over and over. And so this is the connection that we want to live from, and the understanding that we control very little of what happens. And what it appears we control is usually an accident. And so if we can live in a state of balance and understanding that we control very little, and have the perspective that allowing what is to be clear to us so that we can live from a different place, a deeper place in ourselves that doesn't get into a kerfuffle about much of anything, then we're really, really lucky. And of course, all of us get into kerfuffles all the time because we have expectations, and most of us in some way have some structure in our life that we try to meet those expectations. And look at how often things don't turn out the way we expect. Like at least 50% of the time in our experience, something happens.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. We're totally happy to be here participating in whatever way. So we're going to tell you about for us, a major success that happened in the last week. We had a meeting with our Indian astrology teacher, and she invited Rebecca to give a talk at an international conference in next January. So that was a major unexpected event this week. and a bit of a boost to confidence that some understanding is coming to fruition. So that happened. So yes, we're happy to share that. Hmm.
So I just want to say congratulations on that. That's
Thank you.
they're lucky that you'll be there
Oh,
because you
well,
have such
thanks
a
for
good heart.
that. Having heard many of them speak, I'm more than intimidated at the moment. But fortunately, I have a year to figure out what to say, and fairly good resources to help me. but it did make me feel like maybe all this study might help somebody else at some point.
Oh, already has for our little group, that's for sure. No, I think I speak for all of us on that. I did want to say that I tried to email you through the invite to set up an astrology session. But I think there must be another way I should do that.
We did get your email and we'll respond. So
Okay.
don't worry. We're just in a backlog trying to figure out what we can do, how quickly.
Uh,
So,
timing, as you
please
say.
don't be dissuaded. You're definitely on the list.
Okay. All
We're
right.
just not all that good at communication about it yet.
Fine. Thank you. That's
And
good to
thank
know.
you. Yes. So, yeah, it's happening a little bit faster than we anticipated, but that's sort of our experience of astrology all the way along. So that we're sort of getting dragged kicking and screaming. And so it will all come into its own alignment, we hope soon.
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
There is some good news in the sky. Venus has gone into its most elevated state in Pisces, where Venus is exalted. Venus is the planet of love, beauty, sensuality, sexuality. Really, all the pleasures of life come from Venus. And so when Venus is exalted, depending on where Pisces is in our own astrology, we definitely feel that in the arena of life that Pisces represents for us. And the interesting thing is that 2 houses away in Taurus, well, 3 houses away, because you count the house that you're in as number 1. So Jupiter is in Taurus. Taurus is ruled by Venus, and Pisces is ruled by Jupiter. And so when Jupiter and Venus, it's called exchange of signs. This means that the planet of wisdom and the planet of love are interacting with each other in ways that make each other more powerful. So the 2 gurus, Jupiter is the guru of the gods, and Venus is the guru of the demons. The 2 gurus are both activated in powerful ways in Pisces and Taurus. So wherever those energies are in our chart, they are impacting us. And there are some ways which are really beneficial and will help us a lot. And there are other ways where we might be getting not such good advice in either of those fields, depending on which parts of our chart are excited by these energies. So just to know that even though these planets only do good, these 2 particular planets, sometimes, like I may have mentioned that where my Jupiter is, when it's excited, it makes me gain weight. So it's like it expands whatever it touches. So be careful what it touches, that you know if that's going to be helpful or not, because it can expand our debts. It can expand, it'll expand whatever it touches. So what part of the zodiac it's in for you has a definite impact on how it's felt. But it does make these 2 very helpful planets active at the moment. And so no matter what happens, it's easier for us to feel good about it when these planets are activated. And so that's available to all of us. There is positive feeling more available. So we can use that, but it means we still need to pay attention and be careful about our choices. Sometimes good feeling can sweep us into something that we might not feel so good about later. But we're all old enough to know that already. And we do definitely live in interesting times. Andrew? Hmm. How may we serve? Also going to say a little bit about mantra and its value. Mantra is our way of accessing spiritual energy through pathways that have been cultivated for thousands of years in other cultures. And we can tell because when we start to say a mantra, our energy immediately shifts. And so we can use mantra to really deepen our access. And to get ourselves back on track whenever we get distracted. And just yesterday we were experimenting with a mantra to Vishnu. Vishnu is the Hindu god who maintains creation. Brahma is the creator, Vishnu is the maintainer, and Shiva is the destroyer. And all three of these are active, and Vishnu is directly related to Mercury in one's chart. So we were just, and another name for Vishnu is Narayana. So we were doing Narayana, Narayana, Jaya Govinda Hare, Narayana, Narayana, Jaya Gopala Hare. And you can tell just from the beauty of that chant, even though we didn't do a great rendition of it, and we have no idea how it came across the internet, but that changes the environment just like that. You sing it once, your internal environment totally shifts. The external environment also shifts. And if you do that for 10 minutes, the water inside you has shifted to a completely different vibration. And the air, I mean, all the elements inside you, and they all exist inside each of us, everything has shifted in the environment to a different frequency. And it's so simple. And so we're participating immediately in the main maintenance of material form. And it's not just that we're participating in the balance of it, and we're reminding ourselves of the understanding that everything is created, everything is maintained, and everything disappears. And we're participating in that flow of life itself. And the awareness that we ourselves are creative, maintained, and then disappear. And so this is not it's not a hidden process. It's something that we completely can participate in any moment. Parts of us are being born, parts of us are being maintained, and parts of us are dying, all at all times. And when we participate actively, then we're keeping our flow of awareness going in this bigger picture so that we don't take things so personally as they come and go in our own environment. Does that make sense? Yeah. And part of the reason that we chose Vedic astrology rather than Western astrology is because it has this deep richness of tradition. And the other reason is because of the sidereal calendar, which is in sync with the sky. And so those two things. But also, the other thing is that it's an Eastern conservative fundamentalist understanding, so it's not always something that we agree with, even though the understanding has a lot of inherent wisdom in it. For example, we are continuously engaged in self-improvement, regardless of the fact that we have karma that we are engaging at all times. We don't have the belief that we should wait and hope to be born into a better life next time. we do believe that our actions and participation makes a difference. And that's built into the system in some ways and not built into it in other ways. And we believe that as women, we have a bigger role than just being mothers and grandmothers. So there are definite parts of the whole, Vedic conservative understanding that we live differently from. But every belief system requires that we not leave our consciousness and our brains at the door, that we hold to our internal awareness and our commitment to furthering that regardless of what else is handed to us, because we are always responsible for our choices. The guides are just pouring energy through us at the moment, so please take advantage. What they're saying is that in this time period, there is so much change happening. That holding we will have a tendency to grab on, but it will not be possible. So just allow. And in that allowing, find a balance in yourself. And hold to the love. When you grab onto anything, grab onto love itself, herself, and let that flow. And that is the ultimate for any of us in any given moment, is to grab onto love, no matter how fast things are moving or what else is happening. Hold to that love. And we can use our experience of the people who have loved us, who we have loved. We can hold to that experience as we go through whatever changes happen. And all of us, will go through the state change of losing our bodies at some point. And the message is to hold to the love. That's what we practice for every single day. And allow everything to change as we flow into that expansiveness. And there is a point where we will say enough of the material world and just let go. At our time. Bardo practices and death cleaning, these things all can be preparations for that. Yes.
Well, thank you for that. That was beautiful. Beautiful class today. Really appreciate it. Reminder of what's really important.
Yeah.
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 Thank you.
And also we want to say that, fear is one of those things that comes up always. And it's okay. It's part of being human.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that we have not grown. Just means that we're human.
All part of it.
It's all part of it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, the more we can stay out of judgment.
Yeah.
And, it's built into our system as well. The judgment is there with the fear, all the darkness.
Yeah.
And this is why we have so many experiences in our lives so that we can be at ease as much as we can as we go through these transitions. What else?
Hello again.
Hi.
Mhm. I just wanted to say that the vibration that you always channel, but really feel strong today, um, it's almost palpable. And I've been feeling it too lately. And it's thrown me in a bit of chaos in, a lot of ways. Computer problems for one of many, and the time thing that you were talking about earlier. So the reminder to remember the love that's always there, and to breathe. And I have a mantra that I was given when I was 17. It's a very short mantra, but I use it frequently for just what you're saying, um, to remember the moment and let the chaos do what it does. It's such a blessing to have you be a reminder of that. Thank you.
Mm. Thank you for that. We're happy to be here. Mm.
Mm.
It's a great gift to be connected to Anasa, and we're happy to share it. And they are happy to be available to one person if that's all that comes. Because it's not about how many people, it's about quality. Not everybody wants this. We don't understand why. That's beyond our pay grade. But we are here and delighted to be here always. And know that we are not alone in this endeavor. As we spoke last week, the 70 million people, the Kumbh Mela, are all headed in the same direction for the same reason. And those 70 million people are not alone either. And the only thing that is consistent throughout the multiverse is love. And the more in tune we are with that, the more in tune we are with the whole of being. And that will serve us, that understanding will serve us through every moment of existence. That love is the key, unlocks all the doors to spirit. And spirit is what we are. And being is how we experience that love. And when doing comes out of that love, then we are in a harmony that can't be disrupted because our being and doing is all part of the same thing. And it's our commitment that makes it, powers it. Plenty after. So we're just getting our time awareness poked. We're happy to take any more questions or just to go back into meditation. It's your choice.
Thank you so much. Thank you for today.
You are so welcome, and we're so grateful for you coming.
Happy to be here always.
So let's sit a little bit more together. Thank you so much for coming today. Mm. We're so grateful for you and to you. Blessings through the week. So much love. Bye for now.